Alright, so today's review is going to be on Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to be the first shocker. Plot 7-1. The plot for this movie is incredibly weak. I related a little bit to Endgame. They had an idea of money, money, money. That was their original thought for this movie is how can we include Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina, and how can we get some money out of this? We're Sony Marvel, and we're bad at making decisions. We're really bad at making decisions. Um, yeah, no, this movie's plot is paper thin, and it relies on um, Doctor Stephen Strange and Peter Parker, two of the smartest individuals in the Marvel universe, acting like complete idiots at the start of this movie, and really just being a bunch of silly little goofballs trying to get in some multiversal trouble. I guess is the way I would say it. Not really a fan of how we get to the logic of this movie. I would have much rather have had this happen to them than happen because of them. Again, really bad plot. Just pretty much thingamajig. Get the villains here. Like it's uh you're almost asking for them to come visit your universe and try and hurt you, which again I think even that's like debatable of like I think a lot of these characters, a lot of the villains, they're like, oh, a new universe, new opportunities for me to be evil. Like what are you doing? I'd be more concerned about the fact that, oh yeah, everything I knew about life just changed. They don't talk about that element of the movie at all. These people switched universes, and their biggest concern is how can I commit more crimes? What are we doing? Like, and again, I'm not a fan of them dumbing down the smartest characters in the MCU for the sake of making this plot happen. But again, that's what happens when you give Sony Marvel any control over anything. Dialogue 7-3. A lot of the dialogue is explaining about how everyone that knows you're Peter Parker's coming, buddy. And the dialogue, let me try and get back on a positive note here. Let me turn my frown upside down a little bit. Willem Dafoe in this movie has some good dialogue. Marissa Tomei in this movie has some good dialogue. But for the most part, Tom Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch are massive disappointments in this movie as far as their not their line delivery, because the line delivery is fine, but the lines they are delivering are horrible. It's just a bunch of goopity gop. It's just a bunch of you mean to tell me the Green Goblin's coming for me? None of it's. And then Doctor Strange gets outsmarted, which again I get Peter Parker's smart, with the whole like math trick when he's in the mirror dimension, but instead of making Doctor Strange smart and Peter smarter, they make Doctor Strange dumb and Peter generically smart. And again, I would have much rather have it been on the high end that happened instead of the low end. So yeah, the dialogue in this movie not great. A whole lot of explaining shit. The acting in this movie, 7-4. Again, when most of your dialogue is random goopity gop to get you through the movie and the logic of this being a thing, the acting is going to suffer as a part of it because all you're delivering in those scenes, it's not emotion, it's not a genuine feeling, it's just strictly the rationale for getting to where you are. And again, this movie, not great, not great. As far as that goes, cinematography, 7-3. This movie, I think this movie suffered from trying to hide the cameos so much that when you look at it, there's a lot of that gray action stuff going on with it, especially the fight at the Statue of Liberty. This is supposed to be the part of the movie where I'm getting to enjoy seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's character, and I can barely see them because it's at night. You decided to make Sandman a big part of the fight where there's a bunch of sand everywhere, and there's the gray CGI stuff. So what could have been a very visually appealing moment in the movie gets turned into a gray, dark fight with sand all over the place. Not a fan of it at all. I think it's below average for most action movies and most movies in general. So yeah, let's get into the soundtrack. The soundtrack plays less of the original theme from the Homecoming and Far From Home movies for Spider-Man. It does kind of lean into, I think, some of Tobey Maguire's older themes for the soundtrack in this movie, which they're fine. 8.2 is not a bad rating by any means. It's just less than what it was. We got a lawnmower or a weed eater. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but there's like a weed eater outside. So yeah. Anyway, the soundtrack, again, not bad. It just could have been better, I think, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and get into the bonus ratings because the bonus ratings do a lot for this movie. The comedy 8.2. The comedy is, especially when they're riffing off of each other, the three main guys, and I think Jamie Foxx adds a lot to the comedy in this movie. So shout out that. World building 7.5. They're lucky. They're lucky they did all this, and it ends up affecting Peter's college and his relationship with MJ and Ned. That's the only thing holding this at a 7.5. The world building, this is one small step backwards for mankind, is the way I would word it. This movie is fan service galore, and boy did I enjoy it when I first watched it, because it's, they're tapping into my nostalgia brain of, oh my god, it's Tobey Maguire again. Oh my god, it's Andrew Garfield again. Oh my god, it's Willem Dafoe again. When you watch this movie critically to really figure out, is this a good movie? The answer is a resounding, I think fan service did enough to keep me into the liking it. It's kind of a surprising reaction there, but yeah, I think that's the way I feel about it, is that the fan service did enough to keep me from hating it. Boy, if they would not have put Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in this movie, which I get that's the whole reason the other categories suffer, but if you remove them from this movie plummets. This movie gets way down there. Yeah, so the characters in this movie, 8. Again, I think, when you talk about the characters in this movie, why, if you're going to do this movie with all the goopity-gop dialogue and all the goopity-gop plot, put Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in the whole damn thing. Don't put them in the last 20 minutes of it. So a lot of the character rating comes from the lack of using those characters and making Doctor Strange into a goofball 1920s cartoon Pink Panther-esque villain to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And he's not like a villain, but he's just like the authority figure. He's like the parental figure in the room. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Doctor Strange really gets the worst in this movie out of everybody. So yeah, the action ends up being an 8.5. Spider-Man action is generally going to be good no matter what. I just like it when I can see it. The bridge scene with Doc Ock, I feel like, is pretty good. The apartment scene with Green Goblin is pretty good. I don't know what that scene with Electro and Sandman was. That one, that was just weird. And then the in-fight scene, again, I think I would have liked it if I could have properly seen it when they're on the Statue of Liberty. Now, when they go down to the shield on the Statue of Liberty, when it's Green Goblin and Spider-Man fighting there, Tom Holland Spider-Man, that is a good scene and a good action scene too. So, shout out that. So then we get back around to the total rating for this movie, which is an 8.1. This movie, you can tell how much it benefits. Oh, I forgot to say the iconic rating. The iconic rating is a 9. This movie was a huge deal at the time, obviously. The fan service and the iconic nature of it really props it up. If you look at those ratings over there, you will see it at its core is a weak movie. It is a very weak movie, but it gets saved because you did the thing I wanted you to do. You reminded me I was once a child, and I once had heavy emotional connection to Spider-Man. So I do applaud you for that. And I didn't mention it when I was talking about the soundtrack before, but 3 is the magic number as the outro is phenomenal. Really big fan of that. Really kind of one of the better, like, oh my god, I'm leaving the movie theater, and I love that movie. But again, now looking back at it, at its core, it's not a very strong movie. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of Spider-Man No Way Home. I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. And let me know what you guys think of my review of Spider-Man No Way Home. And thank you guys for watching, and peace.